All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Gerardo. We're going to be talking about HEX in this video, and more specifically looking at these bull flag cycles that HEX likes to print. And illustrated here is the entire history of the HEX chart, beginning from December of 2019 all the way to where we currently are, October 2021. Now, just with the naked eye, it might not be too easy to pinpoint every single bull flag, and obviously every bull flag is subject to interpretation. You can always find small bull flags within larger ones, for example, but we're going to just do a daily time frame, and we're also going to ignore this wick. We're looking at the HIT BTC chart, right? So we can plot our regression rainbows, our trading view indicators, but let's go ahead and pinpoint these bull flags, right? I already did this. All I have to do is unhide the drawings, and you can see that we've pinpointed a few of varying sizes, to say the least. This first one began back here at around 0.00008. You could argue it started even lower at the actual all-time low. Wherever you want to place it is fine. But after our pole, we had our falling parallel channel, aka our flag, because a bull flag is really simple. It's characterized by a pole and then either a falling parallel channel like this, a flat top triangle, aka an ascending triangle like this, or something more like a symmetrical wedge can happen as well, something like this. Sometimes you can even get falling wedges, right? Something that might look like that. So that's generally characterized, again, by a pole and then a flag, the next target of which is taken simply by taking the pole and placing it at the point of breakout, right? And so we've done this multiple times. That was your quick little explanation of what a bull flag is, if you didn't already know. And so again, you see your pole, your flag, your pole, your flag. This one was a very macro one, and obviously it's not perfect because you had this action going on. But if you actually look at something like a share price chart, a T-share price chart for HEX, you notice that this is actually dampened, and it actually does look more like a bull flag, where you can end this one around here and take something like this, because this action actually happened in here if you look at the T-share price chart. So in that sense, via pure value discovery, because remember, it was sort of like a stock split event. In that sense, this was a bull flag too, but on this chart you can't really see it, so we'll just consider it an outlier. But again, this was a huge pull and then huge long consolidation composing the flag. But then again, we just keep seeing the same thing. And where are we now is right here, where again we have our flag and we have we have our pole and we have our flag. And so we've measured the technical targets for this flag and said they could be anywhere from $1 to $2, right? 90 cents to $2 to be more specific. Now, the reason I drew these extra ones, this super bullish scenario, is due to this. If we just draw our regression rainbow. So this is one path towards these higher regions, right? This is a path assuming we hit a pink on the last day of the year. So assuming we rally into quarter 4 with a lot of strength and start testing these levels that we haven't seen since May of last year, and really form this kind of large U formation, this bullish up tilted U formation, and again form more bull flags. The reason this path seemed plausible to me is because if you zoom in here, you can actually see something a bit interesting, right? And I wanted to share this with you guys. After big payday, we had a flag into red, right? A flag into our red regression curve. Then once again, we had a flag into red. Once again, we had a flag into red. And this was all you could call your final kind of resurrection from the depths of this big payday dump. Not only that, we retested a bunch of key levels, right? Key levels of market structure. I was awestruck by the absolute textbook level around here or so, the 1.37 level or so, right? Where candles never really went above it. So it was resistance, 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 and then this beautiful retest as support. And if you were watching the channel, this is when we actually started making videos. And I said, hey, this is horizontal support and diagonal support. I was calling it exponential support at the time because this red line is actually an exponential curve on the linear chart. But you had this convergence of support here with the bull flag. It was just everything was screaming 3 to 6 cents, and that's exactly what we hit. So the reason I pointed this out is because, again, we had 3 flags into red, and we finally came out of the depths of the red regression curve, had a flag into orange, and then we had some smaller flags, reconsolidation, and look at this, we had a flag, a bull flag into yellow, right? The flag formation falls into these levels starting at red, orange, yellow. Most recently, we had this pole of the flag reach blue, and then the actual flag fell into green. Now, currently, this current daily candle that still has about 22 hours to go before it closes is beneath green, right? It's the first close beneath green ever since like early September, actually. But again, we'll have to see what happens. This could just be a little fake out. For the most part, I think this is bullish as long as we hold like the 32 to 35 cent level. And obviously we can have wicks to wherever, something like this, and it doesn't really change anything. But I'm talking about structure wise, and we'll get into this a little further into the video. But if you follow the pattern of a flag into red, it's a really simple pattern: flag into orange, into yellow, into green. What the next flag would be a flag, theoretically speaking, into blue. The reason I drew it like this is because if you look at ever since this level back here, we seem to move, when there are these big impulsive flags, we seem to move 2 regression curves. So red, 2 regression curves above that, it went into yellow, right? For this impulsive move over here, it was from yellow to blue. So if we had another one of those, and we don't have to, right? Because there are other ways it can play out, something like this. But if we did have another impulsive move up, then it would be from green to purple, theoretically speaking. So it would be a rally into like the, the 167 to $2 region. So we're talking about almost $2, right? Roughly speaking, $2 in November. And then we'd again fall into maybe $1.27 here into blue. This is pure speculation. And then maybe you'd rally into pink end of the year, putting us at about $5. So that would be potentially the end to kind of a macro cycle here before maybe we had a little dip, right? Who knows? But it could play out a multitude of ways, right? This is obviously just one scenario. It probably won't play out exactly like this. For example, if we take a bars pattern of this May fractal that I like to talk about, I believe it shows a different scenario. Here, let's drag this over here because it looks so much like this, right? So it's a slightly different scenario, similar, where we don't even reach pink, right? We reach purple into the end of the year, and this doesn't take us to the $5 level, but rather we rally into the $2 or $3 level into the end of the year. So these are 2 sort of potential scenarios that, could play out, right? No one has a crystal ball. No one can tell you exactly what's going to happen, but we do have strength, clearly. And these bull flags, I mean, I could sit here, take your average impulsive move after a bull flag breakout, take your average and look at what that would mean. And we'd get some data that says like, hey, on average, historically, HEX tends to 5 to 10x or whatever in 30 days. We could sit here and do that, but we've done that with so many models, right? And, feel free to do that yourself, to interpret as many bull flags as you'd like, take the average breakout after, and look at what that would mean for us now. But just roughly speaking, I mean, our technical bull flag target, like I said, was $1 to $2, converges with a sort of a theory like this, where maybe we would impulse move up 2 regression bands. If it played out something like this, maybe it's not an immediate impulsive move up. Maybe it takes its time, right? And maybe it's something like breakout, retest for a little bit, and then maybe it's move into purple. Maybe not here, right? But maybe later. So really only time will tell what plays out. But this is sort of one really bullish scenario I wanted to point out, because if we zoom in to the bull flag action, once again, we've called these ever since I started making videos on HEX, right? I called the 3 to 6 cent region. We hit it, it became a critical structure. Called it 12 to 24 cent region, hit it, became structure. And then most recently, the 25 to 60 cent region. And look at that, we're consolidating nicely. Now, remember, these formations can vary. For example, like I pointed out, we've had falling parallel channels. Cool. This still counts as a bull flag. Awesome. We've had ascending triangles. Awesome. You have a flat top, more or less, and you have higher lows. Great. This just kind of reaccumulation, right? It was a little breakout, retest of this flat top. Awesome. Higher lows. Okay. Moon. Again, falling parallel channel with some weird fake out wicks. You can't let these wicks kind of invalidate the formation, in my opinion, just because they can be just that, fake outs, especially if they're just long wicks, or if you have, like, for example here, candles that don't fully close beneath the formation. Just there are little things to look out for. Even this, right? You kind of break out of it, get back into your channel. You could consider that a retest, depending if you kind of scroll this down and just do candle bodies, now that I look at it. But point being, you can have a falling parallel channel, you can have an ascending triangle, and most recently, you kind of saw something a little different than we're used to, right? But everyone and their grandmother is drawing this sort of triangle formation, which is cool and all. But again, don't let something like what's happening right now invalidate the formation in your interpretation. That's just my opinion, because again, we could see a candle here. Sure, it could even print here, right? 20 hours later, we could be here, and I would still be like, cool. I mean, think about it. We have we're range bound, right? So it doesn't even have to be a triangle, right? The reason I'm being kind of nonchalant about it is because we can even actually just say, what if it's something, it could even be something like this, right? There are a bunch of ways it can actually play out. Now, I know some people say you don't want to connect candle bodies to wicks, but to those people I say, if you go by traditional technical all the time, unless you throw in a little bit of spice, I guess, then you're going to be doing the TA everyone else is doing. So I'm by no means am I an expert in TA, but I do have that kind of idea that you want to look at things that not everyone is necessarily looking at. With that said, again, this could be a flat top. It could be a flat top formation. And again, you could look at just something like a line chart, right? Low, higher low, higher low. You could argue this one is breaking it, right? This one is breaking it, but we're still range bound if you consider it to be a flat range, right? Which is why I have these dotted lines, because we could just be in a flat range. And I'd argue that a flat range like this is actually more bullish than something like this, because here you have price falling, right? Same over here. This is good to see. This is cool to see too, right? Remember that this flat kind of range bound action we've had, this is fine too. And I would still consider it a bull flag, right? Just having a flat flag. And this could, in theory, go on for a while, right? And it could fake some people out thinking, oh no, my triangle is broken, fake them out, come back up to the top of the range, maybe do a little bit of this action, and then finally break out. I'd argue this is one of the longest consolidation patterns we've seen play out in HEX. We usually go sideways for like 3 weeks to a month, and it's been about 3 weeks coming up on a month. So I guess it's hitting your average, but it's going to start being above average if it doesn't break soon, but we'll see. I'm still generally eyeballing these targets of $1 to $2 and potentially higher into the end of the year. So that's kind of the video. It's not really anything new. That's kind of why I haven't been making too many videos recently, is because we've just been going sideways and there's not too much to say, right? Testnet is live. I think airdrop sacrifice code might be tested soon, potentially. We'll see. That would be cool to see. But yeah, that's the video for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Go ahead and follow LookIntoHex on Instagram as well. You guys have been crushing the engagement, actually. Over 100 followers recently with just like a Twitter post. But yeah, we do some cool infographics here that you actually won't find on Twitter. You'll probably find them here first. So again, follow LookIntoHex on Instagram, on follow my Twitter and all of that, and the LookIntoHex Twitter as well. And I guess if you're still here, go ahead and check out this world domination checklist, which I thought was pretty fun. It got some traction, and we're just talking about kind of everything we would need to be in our own little ecosystem and have everything without ever having to talk about any other like crypto or exchange or whatnot. This is definitely a tall order in terms of a roadmap per se for your ecosystem, but hey, I thought it was pretty cool and it gives a bunch of things to look forward to. So go ahead and check that out. But yeah, thanks for watching the video. Let's get this video to 1,000 likes. You guys have done it before, so thanks for smashing the engagement. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in a future video. I'll see you soon. Peace.